Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. That's a direct order. Do it now.
He's been put down, ripped off, cut open. Now, he's unleashed. The American insurgency starts now. This is Rusty Humphries, Rebellion Radio.
Well, hi there. Welcome. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. We are powered by the nice folks at Right Wing News. You can find us on Liberty One TV, and sponsored tonight by the nice folks at the HearMeOut app. If you have not downloaded this app with all of the crap that is going on with Facebook and Twitter, you need to download the HearMeOut app now and follow me so you can be up to date on what is happening in the world, because I'm telling you, you never know what is going to happen with these big social media giants and what they're going to do and what they may or may not allow you to see or hear in the future. So you got to follow me right away on the HearMeOut app. You can see that HearMeOut app. It's like Twitter. It's like Twitter, but you talk, and it's very good. I think you'll like it. Okay. Let's see. So, a very disappointing thing in my life. Sad. Maybe not that big of a deal for you, but for a guy that not only grew up on radio but lived it. One of my all-time favorite shows. The creator of that show died. Hugh Wilson. Show called WKRP.
Baby, if you ever wondered whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati.
I'm a good dancer.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
Okay, well, and I don't know if you love that show. I absolutely loved it. I was elementary, junior high school when that came out, and it was an inspiration for me to get into the radio business. And one of the things is Hugh Wilson, again, the guy that created and he also created, I did not know this till today, he created another classic, the Police Academy movies. And anyway, he worked at a radio station in Atlanta, and I worked in Atlanta for years, and there was rumors that my boss was the inspiration for Herb Tarlick. You remember Herb? Herb was the, let's see, and pull up a picture of the WKRP staff. Have it here. Well, I'll play a clip of the show in just a second. Anyway, Herb Tarlick was the guy that always dressed funny. He was the sales guy. And everybody said, oh, yeah, our boss, he was the inspiration. It's like, yeah. I've heard everybody say he was the inspiration. This guy was the inspiration, that guy was the inspiration, and it wasn't true. And plus, his name was Clark, by the way. Herb always dressed, real tacky, and Clark was always real, the nicest of suits and always dressed real classy. And somebody told me, the reason why was when the show came out, it messed with his head, and after that, he only dressed classy. And I still didn't believe him until one day they showed pictures of people back in the day, and oh my God, it was him. It was unbelievable. So very fun. Anyway, you know what? Let's just play one little clip of one of the great scenes of WKRP. And I want to know what show inspired you in anything. And then we'll get to the politics. But you know what? Sometimes, politics can't be everything in your life. You got to have some humor in your life. You've got to have some entertainment. So this is right after the turkeys fell on Thanksgiving at WKRP in Cincinnati.
No, Les, come on now, tell us the rest.
I really don't know how to describe it. It was like the turkeys mounted a counterattack. It was almost as if they were organized. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
One of the all-time great shows, and again, that was a show created by Hugh Wilson, passed away today, and very, very sad. Okay, let's get into some what's going on here politically, because today I think was a good day for President Trump, and of course the Democrats never, ever, ever give him a pass ever. There was a doctor that, every year they bring these doctors out, and I don't remember it ever being that big of a deal with Obama. Clinton, I kind of remember it. Bush, a little, not a lot. But they bring the doctor out. Every president goes through a health check, and this is what the doctor had to say about President Trump today. Let's take a quick look at that.
Examination of the cranial nerves, cerebellar function, deep tendon reflexes, motor function, and sensory system were all normal. A cognitive screening exam using the Montreal Cognitive Assessment was normal with a score of 30 over 30. His medications as follows. He takes Crestor, 10 milligrams daily to lower his cholesterol. He takes aspirin, 81 milligrams daily for cardiac health. He takes Propecia, 1 milligram daily for prevention of male pattern hair loss. He takes cilantro cream as needed for rosacea. And he takes a multivitamin each day for health maintenance. We discussed diet, exercise, and weight loss. He would benefit from a diet that is lower in fat and carbohydrates and from a routine exercise regimen. He has a history of elevated cholesterol and is currently on a low dose of Crestor. In order to further reduce his cholesterol level and further decrease his cardiac risk, we will increase the dose of this particular medication. The President is currently up to date on all recommended preventive medicine and screening tests and exams. All clinical data indicates that the President is currently very healthy and that he will remain so for the duration of his presidency. I think the President, he and I talked, and he would like to lose over the next, I think a reasonable goal over the next year or so is to lose 10 to 15 pounds. We talked about diet and exercise a lot. He's more enthusiastic about the diet part than the exercise part, but we're going to do both. One of my ENT consultants was involved in that. We evaluated him. We checked everything out, and everything was normal. We even went so far as to do an ultrasound of his parotid glands and a few other things, and there was absolutely no clinical findings that would suggest. I think the reason for that was, quite honestly, me being up here right now, I think I need a drink of water. I think that I had given the President some medication, specifically some Sudafed over the days previous, and I think that I had inadvertently kind of dried up his secretions a little bit more than I intended to.
Okay, and then they get into, he gets into the mental state. And, it's interesting. His mental faculties are just fine. As a matter of fact, he did fantastic. So here's what I suggest, and I want to see if you agree with me. I think every member of Congress should have to take the same mental exam that Donald Trump just did. I want Nancy Pelosi to take the same mental exam. I want Chuck Schumer to take the same mental exam. I want the idiots that are calling for his impeachment to take the same mental exam, and all of those people that got the quote-unquote psychologist who we found out later didn't have her license. I would like all of them to have to take the exact same mental exam, and then they all have to be revealed just like President Trump's was. Who calls for that? Anybody? If so, give me a thumbs up. Give me a share. If you agree with me, thumbs up. Thumbs up. I am so sick and tired of these congressmen who have, let's be honest, some serious mental issues. That one woman wearing a cowboy hat everywhere she goes, I think Donald Trump should be impeached. Oh, yeah? Well, take the test. Nancy Pelosi with her not so early onset Alzheimer's going on. I want Nancy Pelosi to take that test. Then we'll talk, Nancy. I'll tell you what. If anybody that calls for Donald Trump's impeachment or Donald Trump to that he has mental faculty problems, you take the test first, then we'll listen to you. That's what I think. Let's check in. Let's see who's there. Jerry says we need a drug test done on all members of Congress. Terry's there. Hey, Terry, how are you? Carol says it's a great idea, Rusty. All of them have mental exams. Yep. Judy says they just hung their hat on another loser. Dry mouth. Absolutely, Nancy and Maxine. James says they're cowards, but I agree they should. Daryl's a deplorable in North Carolina. Billy says, I agree. Let them all take the same exam. Rick says Nancy Pelosi. LOL. That's right. That's her name. Nancy Pelosi. Armando is checking in from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Teresa is in Ohio over on the American Patriot. Welcome, guys. Paul is there. Paul did 70 shows had moral teachings. Yes, they did. Martha, Grapeland, Texas. I used to live near Grapevine, Texas. Is that different than Grapeland? Northern Wisconsin is there. Hi, Karen. How are you? Judy is from Georgia. Hi, Judy. West Point, Texas. That's where Bill is. Liz is there. Love WKRP in Cincinnati. So I did too. David says they wouldn't apologize if their lives depended on it. Now, that's the other thing. We now know Donald Trump does not have mental problems. He's not insane. We also know that the things that he's been doing have been honest and fair, unlike the Democrat Party. So when are the Democrats going to come out and apologize? Gee, Mr. President, we're sorry. We got very caught up in our own emotional problems, and we allowed a leader with not so early onset Alzheimer's, Nancy Pelosi, to take charge. We let a liar like Dick Durbin, and I'll, listen, I don't like that Dick. I think he's a big dick, that Dick Durbin. Anyway. I think that Dick Durbin is a liar and a cheat and a swindler and has been for decades. And Donald Trump again, they called him crazy. Oh, he can't do anything. He has a meeting. He does great. He starts making movement on DACA. So what do they have to do? They have got to come up with something, anything they can think of to try to get the American people not to pay attention. Now, what is the biggest sin in America today? Is it murder? You have abortions. Is it adultery? Nah, that's nothing today. Biggest sin. What is the biggest sin? Anybody? Stealing, theft? No, Congress does that every day. In the media today, the biggest sin you can commit is being a racist. That's the biggest sin. That is the number one thing. You are done. You are gone. You could put the sexual harassment thing, it's starting to creep up real quick, but for a long time, the biggest sin in our country has been to be a racist. So what do? They try to trot out racism as often as they possibly can. Okay, whether Donald Trump said it or not. Let's talk about something. And by the way, have I gotten some thumbs up today? So have we gotten some shares? We're going to talk about something that's very important. Something that you're witnessing today. I'm going to take you back to college. And a trick that the Democrats are using, and they've done it very successfully for a long time. It's something called the Hegelian dialectic. Who's familiar with the Hegelian dialectic? If you've ever heard of that before, give me some thumbs ups and a share. Let's see, by the way. Ed says a sin is a sin. I'm talking about political sin. I'm not talking about sin that the Lord considers a sin. I'm talking about political stuff, okay? Tara says telling the truth is the biggest sin. Voting for Obama has divided the country. That's true. Joanne has shared. Okay. Ken says false witness against your neighbor. Are you kidding? That's the Democrats' stock and trade, false witness against their neighbor. All they got, it's all about lie, cheat, and steal to get their political enemies. Yeah, Aziz Ansari had a bad date. That was not harassment. And I don't like that guy, but his career shouldn't. I mean, wait, what? A guy tried to pick up a girl and then have sex with her in his apartment? What? Okay. Let me tell you about the Hegelian dialectic. It's been a long time since I've talked about this. Basically, Hegel was a German professor back in the days, the late 1800s. And he was kind of out at the same time around Karl Marx, as I recall, and also, who's the other psychiatrist? I'm having my early onset Alzheimer's right now myself. Freud, around the same time as Freud. Not as popular, and hated those guys because he wasn't as popular. But he talked about something that the communists used very, very effectively. And here's what you do. Maxine says, why does my Facebook freeze so my comments never get posted? Maxine, your comment was posted. Okay, this is very important, and this is something you need to understand. And I'm telling you these things so that you won't fall victim. And when you see them, these are very powerful persuasion techniques. Okay, this is stuff that is taught in very high levels, college level courses. This is stuff that is practiced to get people's attention. But here's how it is used in a very, very dangerous way, and it's used all the time. Hegelian dialectic. What you do is you pick out a target. Donald Trump's the target. Okay? And you make an outrageous claim. Okay, Donald Trump, you're a racist. I'm not a racist. Donald Trump, you are a racist because you said the word asshole. You're a racist, and because you're a racist, you need to be destroyed. And then the echo chamber explodes, right? And what they do, and what the Hegelian dialectic talks about is you make an outrageous accusation. The target then will try to defend himself. And when he is unsuccessful in defending himself because the charge is so outrageous and people attack, instead of going away, he will then accept your premise and then do everything he can to solve it, doing what you want. So what the Hegelian dialectic does is they say, you're a racist. And this guy goes, no, I'm not. Yes, you're a racist. The only way to prove you're not a racist is to allow DACA, for example, to go through. And then they go, oh, well, golly jeepers, okay, I want to prove I'm not a racist, so I'll do it. As a matter of fact, I saw that exact example today. And I believe it was from Dick Durbin. Trump must accept DACA. I thought I saw that earlier. I'm trying to pull up that quote, and I could be. Anyway, you will see that more and more. It was Dick Durbin. Let me put in Durbin too. But you see Democrats do that all the time. Think of, I'll give you another good example. Over the past week, Mark Wahlberg had to do a reshoot of the movie For Love of Money because they wanted to get rid of Kevin Spacey, so they put another guy in there. By the way, it's a good movie. You should go see it. And the story came out that Mark Wahlberg got $2 million and the woman only got $100,000 or whatever the numbers were. And so Mark Wahlberg is a sexist. Mark Wahlberg is a sexist and Hollywood is sexist because they paid him way more money than the woman. Now, if you were smart, you fight back and you go, no, I'm a bigger star and I was busy and they wanted me to come back, so it cost them a lot more money. But no, what did he do? He fell for the Hegelian dialectic. Mark Wahlberg came out and he said, and he's a good dude, but he came out and he said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry that I got more money. So to fix it, I'm going to give money to the woman's group that feels slighted, which, by the way, was the group that accused him of the sexism. You see this over and over and over again. Hegelian dialectic. Okay? Big charge, semi-countercharge, bigger charge, acceptance. Okay? Don't fall for that. And you'll see it happen over and over and over and over and over again. So, anyway, let's see here. Dick Durbin lying. Yeah, I wish I had that. I saw that and I apologize. I was thinking about it. I didn't find that particular thing, but that's exactly what happened. So now here's another good example. Let's talk about DACA for a second. Kirk says it's blackmail. Yes, It's blackmail, but it's done on a much higher intellectual level, okay? They're using your fear. Okay, what are the two most powerful emotions? Okay, what are the two most powerful emotions? Pain and pleasure. Okay, pain and pleasure. And you have to determine, especially if you're trying to persuade somebody or in politics, move the needle, you have to try to figure out what is your opponent's weakness. Is it the pain of being called a racist, for example? Or is it the pleasure of his ego? Now take a look at a lot of these people that they attack. One of the things that you do if you want to attack somebody that is a narcissist, somebody who believes the world revolves around them, their biggest weakness always is their reputation. A narcissist always believes holds his reputation the closest to him or her. Okay, so if you want to attack a narcissist, and by the way, a lot of this stuff is in my book, which you should go get, 7 Ways to Win Political Debates with Your Liberal Family and Friends and Still Keep Them as Family and Friends. It's available at Amazon in paperback and in Kindle, and the audio version, which I read, is on Audible. Wayne wants to know, what is the equivalent of reverse racist? There is none. You see, we've lost the battle. This is why we have to stand up to the Hegelian dialectic, stand up to the lies from the left, and point out those facts. That's the only way you can beat them, is you have to fight back. If you don't fight back, you will lose the battle. And for a narcissist, I'm telling you that by going after their reputation, you could pretty much get anything from them. And the Democrats, and they got this from the communists, who got this from Karl Marx, who got this from Hegel, found that this is a very, very powerful weapon. So that's why I'm explaining it to you, okay? Renee says, I know men like that. Dora says, you are so right. Melvin says, hi, my brother. Gregory says, Democrats could never apologize for anything because they're not capable of it because they are hypocrites. It's that, and if you show that you apologize, it shows weakness. And the Democrats are always looking to use that righteous moral outrage to attack somebody on the right, because somebody on the right is trying to do the right thing. We have to be the adults in the room. It's real easy to say, you know what? Everybody can have whatever, and free college and free food and free clothing and free housing and all this free stuff, and it's going to be great. It's awesome. All you got to do is vote for us. It never works, ever, but they have that hammer, right? And all you have to do is say, we can't allow every person that wants to sneak across our border to come across here because we can't afford it. You're a racist. I'm not a racist. Yes, you are. I'm going to Hegelian dialectic you. You're a racist because you said those people of different colors, they're going to come across here and you don't like them because you don't like dark-skinned people. Wait a second. I never mentioned dark-skinned people. You did it right there. You mentioned dark-skinned people. And because you mentioned dark-skinned people, you're a racist. And the only way you can, you're a racist and you're evil and you need to be stopped. You need to be thrown out of whatever it is you are. And people say, well, golly jeepers, to prove I'm not a racist, I'll show you. I'll accept the dreamers. President Trump fell for it the other day. What did he say? We want to create a bill of love. A bill of love? Trump, I don't know who gave you that line, but that's falling for it. Okay? The love was the parent that didn't take the child across the border illegally. The parent was legally responsible for that child. I don't care if that child was 2 months or 17 months, 17 years and 11 months. The parent, 12 months, whatever. The parent is legally responsible. The parent chose to break the law. The parent knew the consequences. And I've been told, even if you don't know the consequences of the law, you're still responsible for it. And so now, and again, let's take a look at emotion. Democrats use emotion, right? Republicans, we make a mistake sometimes. We say we're going to use reason and logic, right? It is illegal for an adult to bring a child across the border that is not supposed to be here. They are illegal immigrants and they must be sent home, right? Why do we lose that battle? Because Democrats use emotion. These aren't illegal immigrant children. They're dreamers. They just dream of good things. From no fault of their own, they have dreamed to live in America. Why would you possibly want to lower and ruin somebody's dream? Then you put a little tear in there. Cory Booker did it today. Do I have that clip? Cory Booker was screaming at this woman today. Where's the video? I'll look for it in a minute. Anyway, Cory Booker was screaming at this woman today. And, is this it? Here we go. Screaming at this woman about the word S-ho show, right? And what does he say? I'm going to hold on. Let me bring this clip up. I apologize. Okay, let's take a look. And again, we are looking for not reason and logic, right? That's not what their trade is. That's not what he's going to use. He's going to use emotional terms, and it doesn't matter how much you lie, emotional terms to try to get his point across, because he is not trying to do what's in the best interest of the country. He's trying to do what is in the best interest of Cory Booker and the Democrat Party.
When the commander-in-chief speaks or refuses to speak, those words just don't dissipate like mist in the air. They fester. The commander-in-chief, in an Oval Office meeting, referring to people from African countries and Haitians with the most vile and vulgar language. The language festers. When ignorance and bigotry is allied with power, it is a dangerous force in our country.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay? Again, that language festers. Now, I can play you clip after clip after clip of presidents swearing and cussing and a hollering. We can talk about LBJ, one of the great Democrat icons, talking and using, throwing out the N-word. We've got no proof that Trump said it, but even if he did, that language festers. And why is it festering? Because Cory Booker is trying to produce an emotional response from you. Fear. And by the way, for a lot of people who are professional victims, it feels good to feel bad. Pain and pleasure at the same time. Very powerful. Let's get back to the liar, Cory Booker.
Your silence and your amnesia is complicity. Right now in our nation, we have a problem. The fact pattern is clear of the threats in this country.
Fear.
I hurt. When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about his experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt and that pain and to dismiss some of the questions of my colleagues, saying I've already answered that line of questions when tens of millions of Americans are hurting right now because of what they're worried about what happened in the White House.
Okay. Every single thing was an emotional trigger, right? Let's go back quickly. Okay? I mean, he's been schooled well, okay? I hurt.
When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about his experience.
Tears of rage? I had tears of rage because the word shit all came on TV. In a private meeting, I had tears of rage. By the way, I want Cory Booker to take the test that Donald Trump took. I want to take him right now because he's got tears of rage. You know what? He could be Cory Booker is a danger to himself and others. He has tears of rage. He is so angry. I'm not sure if he's going to go and take a gun and shoot at the president. I call for Cory Booker to be taken against his will, to be held against his will at a mental hospital. I believe Cory Booker should take the exact same exam that Donald Trump took. He should be in custody for at least 10 days because he has just admitted he had tears of rage against the President of the United States. And to me, that sounds like he's a danger to himself and others. What do you think about that? Do me a favor, would you please? Would you please share this video? And would you please give me some likes, some thumbs ups? What's on your mind? I want to know. West wants to know what difference at the point does this make? George agrees it's a great call to action for Booker. Thank you. Timothy says he sounds guilty. Tom thinks it would be racist. Interesting. Karen is watching me on one of the pages and says that the feed is stopped there. I'm sorry about that. Timothy thinks Cory Booker is a poor actor. By the way, that was his first attempt at running for president. That's him. I want to be the next bro. Here, let me bring it up for you again. And let me tell you what he's really saying, okay? Hold on.
Experience in that meeting, and for you not to feel that hurt and that pain and to dismiss some of the questions of my colleagues, saying I've already answered that line of questions when tens of millions of Americans are hurting right now because of what they're worried about what happened in the White House.
Okay.
That's unacceptable to me.
One thing very quickly, and then I'll... Are you really that worried what was said in the White House? You're worried, and by the way, worry's an emotion too, isn't it? None of this is fact-based. None of this is reason. None of this is logic. It is all based to stir up the emotion. All right, this is what here. Let me give you what he's really saying here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Hold on a second. Let me just bring him up here.
There are
I want to be Obama. I really want to be Obama. I think I'm just as good looking as Obama. I got short hair now like Obama. And I think I'm so angry because I am not Obama. I'm just so angry. I'm going to beat on this desk. I'm going to go and I'm going to have a frowny face because I'm not Obama yet. But someday you'll see I'll be Obama. Look at my face. I should be Obama right now. Oh, I think that's what he said. I'm not positive. I could be wrong. Let's get back to something else. I don't have a lot of time. I got to take off for a second. Let's talk about DACA for a second. They may shut the government down, and I'll quickly go over what that might mean if they're going to shut the government down. But let's take a look at DACA. This comes from a great website, the Federalist Papers. DACA facts for you to share with your friends. Number one, DACA was unconstitutional. That is a fact. DACA was an executive order, not a law. Trump did not end DACA. Barack Obama did. Obama placed a sunset date on his executive order, so if you're upset about someone ending it, be upset at Obama. Number 4, Trump did a brilliant thing. President Trump is forcing Congress to get off their heinies and actually work together on a solution to the immigration problem that both sides claim is a problem. The president put the ball in the court of Congress, and they will have to sink or swim on this. Now, of course, the media will place the blame on this on the president. It's what they do. However, maybe, just maybe, and by the way, immigration was a mess before President Trump, so you can't blame him. Americans, you need to demand law and order. It is time for Congress to do their job. Amen. Well done, Federalist Papers, and we need to do that. Harumph, harumph, harumph. Okay? And no, we don't just go and fall for the Hegelian dialectic. You're a racist if you don't believe in DACA, and then it's going to be you're a racist if you don't believe in full amnesty. You're a racist, you're a racist, you're a racist. Don't fall for it, okay? By the way, you know how they always call Trump a racist? That evil Donald Trump. And who's one of the great race hustlers out there? The great Jesse Jackson. Saw this today. I guess back in the day, 1998, January 14th, not that long ago, well, almost to the day, 20 years ago? I guess Donald Trump didn't used to be a racist. Take a look at this.
I do want to express thanks to you, Donald Trump, for being with us tonight. We need your building skills, your gusto, your rent package for people on Wall Street who represent diversity. And we thank you for coming tonight. Let's give Donald Trump a big hand.
Let's give him a big hand. All right, Donald Trump, big hand.
A big hand for Donald Trump.
Yes, Jesse Jackson.
I now want to bring forth a friend who has...
A friend?
Well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness and his commitment, for his success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88.
That's right, Jesse ran.
And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York.
Who did?
Because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his
Stephen
style,
Colbert?
And his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building for the builder people. Last year he was a part of our workshop.
David Letterman?
Of our panel workshop on what are the challenges
Jimmy Kimmel?
And opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for 2 minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
What? Donald Trump? How could it be? Hasn't he been a racist forever?
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%.
Wait. Donald Trump couldn't be proud of blacks and minorities. He's a racist, right? Isn't that what we've been told for months and months and months, ever since Donald Trump thought about running for president? Before, when he was giving them money, man, he was okay. He was the man that was bringing jobs to New York, bringing jobs, helping out Jesse Jackson. Now, all of a sudden, he's a racist. Wow. This is bad. It's bad. Anything else I need to show you today? Oh, another good one. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. 10 minutes of Donald Trump talking about how he disavows racism, but anyway, we'll stop that. I want to play one other thing very quickly. And I don't know if you have teenagers. I do. Whenever there's something about a teenager, a teenage trend, it's something I worry about. This one is utterly insane. Okay? You've probably heard about this. They're taking Tide packets and they're eating them. Now, if you want to get kids to not play with the Tide packets, here's one thing you do. Show them what they're used for. Tell them you take the Tide packets and you do laundry with them. They'll never touch a Tide packet ever. Ever. But look at this loser. I'll bet you his mom and dad are so proud. Not only does he eat the Tide, he smokes it too. Look at this loser.
Better damn me some Tide Pod.
Damn me some Tide Pods. Look at this. Oh, I'm so cool. I haven't seen somebody smoke that hard since Obama in the Choom Wagon.
Ooh. Oh, that's hot. Ooh.
What do you bet? Straight A's? When do you think he's working? You think he's... Now, again, nobody smoked more pot than Barack Obama back in the day. Nobody. He was the leader of the Choom gang with the Choom. He had a van because, by the way, he had a bunch of money back in high school because his grandpappy and his grandmammy worked at a bank. And even though they were commies, they gave little old Barry Soetoro enough money for him to smoke it up. And he did his nose candy and all kinds of good stuff at college, which he talked about in his book, but nobody seemed to care. But, I don't know. This kid may have, I don't know. I think this kid, just looking at the way he's smoking it up, I think he's got a place in the Democrat Party. What do you think? I think he's right what they're looking for. That's their constituency. That's
hot.
Ooh. Yeah. That you know what you call that guy? That's a Democrat voter right there. Kim says cotton candy in the wall. Hannah says gene pool problems. Kathleen thinks he needs a spanking. Spanking never hurt a kid. It's not the spanking that hurts them. Jan thinks he's an idiot. Justin says it's time to let natural selection take its course and stop wasting these people. Cheryl says, well, they do have that in common with Obama. Anyway. I don't know what to say. Anyway, again, the one thing I know my daughter will never get into that because it has something to do with doing the laundry. And so I know there's no way she'll get close to it at all. All right, do me a favor, my friend, if you would please. Would you please do me a favor? And that is get on your phone, your smartphone, and go to either the App Store if you have an iPhone, or go to the Google Store, an Android store. And if you would please download an app right now, it's called HearMeOut. The HearMeOut app. Doesn't cost anything. It's like Twitter, but it is for it's listening. And when you download it, you can see other people on there. And if you'll find me, Rusty Humphries, or type in #Rusty, follow me. And I tell you, we are getting the information out. And as these big major social media companies are silencing our voices, we have to have another one. I talked to the owner of this company yesterday. They are not going to silence conservative voices. But for example, you'd find me, Rusty Humphries, and I just post a little thing, listen and learn with Rusty. And I changed the picture and stuff. And then this was one that was just up today. Hold on.
Now that President Trump has gone to a doctor and has been tested and has been proven to be mentally competent, will all the Democrats that accused him of being crazy and should be impeached, will they apologize? I'll hold my breath and wait. Still holding my breath. Waiting. When will Nancy Pelosi take her mental test? Waiting. Will the liar Dick Durbin, will he take the mental test too? How about everybody in Congress take that same mental test that Trump did? That would be good, wouldn't it? Just asking.
All right, and that's it. Okay, and sometimes it's a movie review. Sometimes it's just off the top of my head. There's other great people doing it too, Larry King and my friend Chuck Woolery and other folks. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great app. And again, if Facebook, we know Twitter is messing with the news feeds. We know Facebook is too. And if if we don't start showing up and you don't know about what we're going, you're going to lose track. You don't want to do that. You don't want these social media companies determining what you can or cannot hear. So make sure you follow me on the Hear Me Out app. Again, right there, Hear Me Out app. Doesn't cost anything. Follow me, Rusty Humphries, and your life will be just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. Find my podcast, The Rusty Humphries Rebellion, at iTunes and Stitcher and other places where you get a podcast. I'll show you tomorrow, maybe, if you don't know what a podcast is or how to get it, I'll show you that. Let's see. Danny says, spank the kids like they used to be. Alan says, Darwin is pleased. Daryl says, our kids are going nuts. Joanne says, love you, Rusty. Tonight's my first night with you. Well, I love you right back, Joanne. Thank you. Darwin is proud. Cheryl's laughing. Timothy, wow, idiot. Anyway, lots of great comments. Did you say Google Play? I think I'm on Google Play, too, for the Rusty Humphries Rebellion for my podcast. But Hear Me Out app, I don't know. Just find it on where you get apps from, okay? 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West is where you find me live every night right here on this page. Make a note, what page is this? Is it right-wing news? Is it something with Liberty One TV? Is it I support Barron Trump? Is it Team Trump? What is it? I'm not sure. Go find out. Take a look what page you're finding me on. Like this video, share it, put a nice comment on there. I'll read them tonight. And Hear Me Out app. Thank you so much. And find me on Facebook. My name is Rusty Humphries. Look for me in a blue shirt. Not this blue shirt, but a different blue shirt. And like my page, would you please? That's it. May God bless you. And by the way, like my page. Like that's going to matter on Facebook anyway. May God bless you. May God bless America. My name is Rusty Humphries. And, well, this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.